we're changing this peat cliff, which is very steep, and we're making it shallower. And we're also changing it from being bare to covering it with vegetation. So you can see the digger is putting the vegetation on the shallow slope, which it's dug. And then it's tamping it down to make it, keep it in place so that it doesn't collapse. And that just stops the carbon from being released when the peat collapses.
Yeah.
By preventing the breakdown of organic matter by allowing for the formation of peat, all that organic matter which would have been converted back into CO2 by microbial breakdown by bacteria and fungi, it can't happen. So basically it's a massive sink of carbon. Peat soils are naturally acidic and anoxic. That carbon is locked up. But if you lose your vegetation cover to drainage, burning, over trampling, then that carbon that's locked up in your peatland can be released into the atmosphere, which can contribute to climate change. So through peatland restoration, we're kind of arresting the causes of peatland degradation, for example, by revegetating areas, by re-wetting areas to lock this peat up for future generations and to stop the peatland's contribution to climate change and encourage them to be carbon sinks and to sequester new carbon. UK peatlands hold 3 billion tonnes of carbon. However, when peatlands are in degraded condition, they can release some of this stored carbon into the atmosphere and watercourses. So it's imperative that we keep it locked up and keep peatlands healthy. And over time as well, they can form new carbon if the conditions are right. If we were to lose 10% of the world's global peatland resource due to degradation, that would wipe out all the measures that we would need to keep the global warming, the global temperature under 1.5 degrees, which was considered the limit for safe temperature rise from the Paris Agreement. So all the other measures in terms of renewable energy and cutting carbon emissions from various sources could be wiped out if we lose our peatlands.
This is the perfect scenario, you know, locking up carbon, restoring degraded areas of peat, having water, mini lochans, locking up carbon along with the sphagnum moss. You know, it's a great opportunity for land managers across the northwest of Scotland to grasp the nettle, to do something for climate change, but you're at the same time increasing your biodiversity, a changed ecosystem, and it's a win-win.
Significant area that I'm from. So I suppose we've restored in excess of 2,000 hectares of degraded peatland with associated emission reductions in excess of 800,000 tonnes of carbon over the next 100 years, and we would like to do that type of figure annually for the next 10 years, perhaps more than that. And we just see that the demand is there. We've got the peatland resource. It's in an absolutely stunning part of the world, and there's so much degraded peatland that will have an immediate effect nationally on our targets for reduced emissions.